everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marie and I'm a South African living in Singapore, and I've been living here for about 6 years now. So I make these videos about life here at the moment because we can't travel anywhere, and just to teach you a little bit more about life in Singapore if you're perhaps interested in moving here, or you're perhaps just interested in Singapore and the world out there, as we can't travel at the moment. And this is for your way of escaping. So today I'm going to talk about what I wish I knew before I moved to Singapore. Now, I really have to think about that one because the first time I moved to Singapore was about 8 years ago. The first time I moved to Singapore was actually on the 13th of June 2013. There's a few things that actually I wish I knew beforehand, and that would have helped me in terms of packing firstly, and it would have just helped me in terms of what to expect, because when you're moving to a new country, of course you're thinking all this like wonderful things is going to be so amazing, everything's going to be so different, Singapore is so wonderful, which it is. I just want to share these few things perhaps to help you understand a little bit more of what to expect. So if you haven't already, remember, please click the subscribe button. I post a new video every Friday, and if you want to get a bell notification, remember to ring that bell, and then every time I post a video, you'll get a notification. So the first thing I want to share, what I wish before I knew here. I knew Singapore was small. I knew, oh, it's only about 45 kilometers in radius. It's an island. It's a red dot. You can't see it on the map. And so that is why it's called the little red dot. But what I didn't really know or anticipate is actually how small it is. It's really small. And I think it's just now feeling a lot smaller as well because we haven't been able to travel, and I haven't left Singapore for over a year. But the great thing is you actually don't have to travel very far to get things. And so your little bubble becomes about a 1 to 2 kilometer radius from where you're living. And to leave that bubble, you really think about it first. You're like, and so you can easily just pop down the road and go to a cold storage, go to a fair price, and nowadays also online shopping, so you really actually don't have to leave your house. So before you know it, you're like, wow, okay, I have only been moving around in my area. And so yes, your world becomes really, really small in Singapore, and it is amazing and scary at the same time because you have to constantly and consciously push yourself to get out of your bubble. So really make an effort to get out of your comfort zone when you get here. Alright, so I know you've heard it's hot, it's humid, Singapore is on the equator, la-ti-da, and everyone tells you don't worry, you'll get used to it. And no, you don't ever actually really get used to it. I don't know how to explain it though, but on those days that it gets hot, like it gets hot. I don't know what else to say, and you don't feel like doing anything. It's really a drag to go outside. It's really difficult to enjoy your time outside. You really need to be in the right mindset then. You need to be okay, I'm going to be sweating. Okay, I'm going to be sweating a lot. But I would not recommend that you go out for a hike or a walk or anything exciting outside between 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Everything before 10 o'clock is okay. That's usually the times I would go out if I go for a walk, or then after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is still kind of hot. I actually feel like it's hotter at 4 o'clock than it is at 2 o'clock, which is strange. But yes, the weather in Singapore, you do not get used to it. You just tolerate it a little bit more. Then the third thing I wish I knew before I moved to Singapore is to know that actually, as point number 2, how it gets hotter and more humid, you will learn to love the occasional downpours. Have an umbrella in your bag, and you'll be like, oh, these downpours will actually cause you to perhaps be delayed to an appointment, because when it pours, and if you're not able to walk outside, you will be soaking wet. So sometimes you have to hide under a shelter to wait out the storm. But you'll learn to love it, and you will actually be praying for a downpour. The temperature that will then drop about a few degrees. Actually, it can drop down about to 22 degrees, 23, 24, which is absolutely amazing. Learn to love these downpours because you will be able to enjoy the outside a lot more then. If you're planning on walking, do not wear your nicest shoes. That goes for high heels and for leather shoes. The reason I say high heels is because everyone walks here. It is very easy to walk from one place to the other. And when you're wearing your high-heeled shoes, maybe a distance that doesn't seem so long on Google Maps, but wearing high-heeled shoes, it's going to become a long distance. So I haven't worn high-heeled shoes in about 6 years. Then the second thing, leather shoes. Okay, so when I go to South Africa, I buy shoes because I do not find any shoes in my size in Singapore or in the whole of Asia. So when I do find shoes somewhere, I do a little dance. But now you've bought your nice, beautiful leather shoes, you get stuck in a rainstorm. So if you're planning on walking, do not wear leather shoes. No, don't wear leather shoes. I've learned my lesson. You're gonna get stuck in the rain at some point. The sun might be shining this morning, but this afternoon it's pouring down with rain and you're stuck. You're wearing your nice leather shoes, which is not gonna be so nice anymore after you have to brace the storm. And so I've resorted to mostly wearing Crocs because they do sell my size at the Croc store. Which I thought I would never do, but I am doing. Dressing up is overrated, really. And this links in with the weather. Again, I think everything is connected with the weather here in Singapore. It influences a lot. I have tried dressing up in nice dresses and I have just given up. Because when you wear a nice dress, you are 5 minutes, you're outside and you're sweating, it's sticking to you, you feel uncomfortable, you can't move, it's just icky, icky, icky. I'm not saying never ever dress up again, but you will see on the streets of Singapore, most people are just wearing shorts and a shirt and flip-flops or Crocs. And that's okay because of the weather. It is more of a dress for comfort than for style. The only times you do dress for style is perhaps if you're moving from one aircon area or one aircon place to another aircon place and you don't have to be outside, and so you will definitely then be able to wear your nice dresses if you can afford taxis or have your own car. But for the most part, people don't really dress up in Singapore, and you actually don't feel bad for not dressing up anymore. Now, from the outside, yes, Singapore is a first world country, it's a metropolitan city. It is amazing at what Singapore has achieved in like 50 years. But things move at an enormously fast pace. The people are constantly on the move and you kind of get sucked into it. You have to make a conscious effort to switch off. I know in the beginning it is exciting. In the beginning you're like, wow, this is different, this is exciting, this is amazing, the energy, but that can lead to a burnout really quickly. So I wish someone told me that a little bit sooner so that I would have made a conscious effort sooner in regards to balancing my time. There's always construction. So it's really difficult to get nostalgic about a place in Singapore. For example, the first time I moved to Singapore, there's a few places that I would like to go, and when I came back to Singapore in 2018, those places were demolished and I could not even recognize it. And so that's really quite sad. You can't get nostalgic about places in Singapore because you'll be like, oh, I had such great memories there. You go back and it's gone and you're like, okay. So are my memories gonna fade like how this place was demolished? But anyways, yeah, Singapore is constantly changing and there's always construction. If you're a person that says rules are meant to be broken, then I don't think Singapore is the place for you. Because coming from South Africa where we have rules but no one follows the rules, you just do what you want and make sure you don't get caught, kinda. I actually do value the rules, and I actually do think it's important that people and as a society work together to ensure safety of people, to ensure things work, to ensure that we work together actually. And so I really value that. I really think this is why Singapore has gotten to where it is today, and that is why the society here is just continuously growing in terms of the economy, in terms of building, in terms of thinking ahead, thinking about the future, not just thinking about today, but really thinking about like how and what impact you have as an individual in society. So those are just a few things I wish I knew before I moved to Singapore. And so I really had to think about it. Like I said, I moved here in 2013. So if you have any more that you want to add to this list, please leave it down in the comment section below, and I'll see you next week. And until then, please remember to be good, do good, and keep on smiling. Bye.